PDR Sports Webcast. I'm Kevin Morales alongside Travis Huslett. And Travis, the Badgers beat Marquette 72-63 on Saturday at the Kohl Center. What's been your impression of them this season?
Pleasantly surprised. They've lost some pretty good players over the last year, with guys like Landry and Krabenhoff. So I wasn't sure what to expect, but pleasantly surprised. The biggest thing that surprised me, or that I've liked about them, is when they get the three-guard lineup going. Jordan Taylor, Jason Bohannon, and Trevon Hughes. They make a pretty good mix. I think that's when they play their best ball, when all three of those guys are on the floor. And Jordan Taylor's really stepped up as a scoring threat for him. So
yeah,
that's one of the things that I really liked. And everything is John Lure has been way better than I expected.
You mentioned Marcus Landry, and coming into the season, that was the big question. How are they going to be able to replace him? And he obviously plays for the Knicks right now.
Mm-hmm.
But John Lure is so much more improved. I mean, he was good last year too.
Right.
But this year, he's really just taken his game to a new level and has done a pretty good job thus far of kind of replacing Marcus Landry.
No question.
Huge wins over Duke and Marquette, and those are two big-name schools from conferences that are probably accepted as better than the Big Ten. I think the thing with this team is they can compete with those really good teams from good conferences when they play their best, but they're not a good enough team to just show up and not play their best. And they probably won't because it's a Bo Ryan coach team. But when they show up and just kind of go through the motions, then you get something like Green Bay last week too. So
another thing that's going to be tough for them, I think, is you kind of mentioned the conferences. This is the Big Ten's probably the best it's been in 5-6 years. So, I mean, while the Badgers are good, it might not necessarily equal like a Big Ten title.
Sure.
Because teams like Michigan State and Purdue are loaded. Ohio State's good, even though Evan Turner's going to be out for a while. But it's a really tough conference this year. But the Badgers are definitely one of the better teams in it.
And let's not forget the Gophers too.
Oh yeah. Don't forget about the Gophers.
And I was actually at Saturday's game, and the fast start was the thing that really stuck out to me and helped them kind of absorb Marquette's comeback later on in the game. Another key thing was the fact that they were in the bonus midway through the second half, and Marquette kept fouling, it seemed like, away from the ball and during rebound situations, which tells me that the Badgers were in really good position and Marquette guys were trying to scramble to get around and get to the ball. So really fundamentals, kind of shrinking athleticism maybe in a lot of ways.
Yeah, very typical of Bo Ryan team, and it was similar to the Duke win, I thought. I mean, just fast start, and then the opposing team tries coming back, and the Badgers hold on.
23 of their 72 points come from the free throw line, so obviously that's huge for the Badgers. An only question I had was maybe when Hughes and Lure aren't scoring, who's going to score? But like you said, Taylor's done a great job this season, a big three-pointer in that second half.
And Bohannon hopefully will heat up a little bit.
Travis, you want to tell us about the trivia?
Yeah, last week's trivia question, no one wrote in, so I must have made it a little too tough for you guys, maybe we'll dumb it down for you a little bit.
Sure.
First, we'll go over that last week's question. It was Badger football. When was their first bowl victory? The answer was 1982. Against who? It was a 14-3 win over Kansas State. And who were the MVPs? Well, quarterback Randy Wright was the offensive MVP, and Tim Krumrie was the defensive MVP. So that's the answer to that question. But we'll switch it up a little bit this week. We're going to do Packers. A couple weeks ago on Thanksgiving, Charles Woodson returned an interception for a touchdown. That pick six actually tied the franchise record for defensive touchdowns. So the question is, how many defensive touchdowns is the record? And he's tied with two other people with that record. And who are the other two that have that share the record with him? So write us in the answer, and we'll
look
mention
forward to it. Yep, going to be famous. Last but not least, we've got the PDR Athlete of the Week, and this week we'd like to select Rio Senior Calvin Canales. Calvin won the 152-pound weight class at the Sun Prairie Bob Downing Scramble on Saturday. And not only did he finish first at 152, he was named the tournament's most valuable wrestler. So congratulations to Calvin. And he's off to a great season. I think he's 11-0 this season. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next week.